Hi, my name is Anthony Gallo. I am a certified non-dual Kabbalistic healer, Reiki practitioner, black magician, and soon-to-be numerologist. And in this video, we're going to talk about Lilith. This is an image of Lilith that I had printed on aluminum. It's an AI image that I made with ChatGPT. This is how she usually appears to me, but also including large demon wings that I didn't have in the render because ChatGPT can only do so much. This is part of my Lilith altar, so I felt appropriate to show it in this video. Specifically in this video, I want to talk about common mistakes that I see people that are practicing the left-hand path, people that are practicing black magic, demonolatry, things like that, common mistakes that they make when connecting with Lilith. I worked with Lilith for 2 years, and then I took a break for a year when I woke up that it was one big coping mechanism. It was unconscious, unhealed, trauma-induced, seeking a power that I was going through. So I walked away from my black magic work and Lilith and focused on archangels and the light. And now I'm back to working with Lilith because I realized not only do I have a lot of unfinished business with Lilith and the Tree of Death and the left-hand path and black magic, demonolatry, things like that, but there is a lot of great work for me to do, not just for myself in the whole process of bringing the unconscious to consciousness and turning lead into gold, but also this video specifically is something that I want to offer to a left-hand path community. It's this way to put it bluntly: people stop hurting themselves and people start getting healthier results that they deserve to get. They just need a little bit more of a guiding force. So me, someone that practices non-duality, holding two opposites together to experience a third thing, state of consciousness, someone that works with both the dark and the light. I work with demons and archdemons and then archangels and angelic forces. I'm able to include a more balanced approach and, from my own experience, a more full picture to this conversation. And hopefully what I have to say in this video will help those working with Lilith or interested in working with Lilith. Hopefully I'm able to help those of you do so in a way that gets the results that you're looking to get, and, as I mentioned, minimize any pain and discomfort that's just not necessary. So if topics like this sound interesting to you, please remember to like and subscribe and leave in the comments experiences you've had with Lilith, how long you've been working with her, and or other topics you'd like for me to discuss in future videos. And if you'd like to have a session with me, definitely go to seekthecode.net. You can book a Reiki healing session with me, a non-dual Kabbalistic healing session with me, or a free consultation to get a better idea of what it is that I provide with my services. So without further ado, let's talk about ruler of Gamaliel, queen of hell, dark mother, and queen succubus, Lilith. So Lilith, first wife of Adam, bride of Samael, primordial chaos, extraterrestrial dark hive mind of the feminine chaotic polarity in universe B, as Kenneth would say. Lot to discuss. So I'm just going to get right into the common mistakes. And a lot of these are common mistakes that I've actually made. So this will be from first-hand experience, and I'll be able to break down the pitfalls of these mistakes and the better results and the better experience you're going to have once you stop making these mistakes, if you're making them. And if you're not, great. That's fantastic. You're doing awesome. We're very proud of you. So the first mistake that I want to discuss is it's twofold. A few of these will be two in one. This one is trying to contact Lilith without being able to accurately perceive what's going on the other side of the veil. So this would be akin to having your third eye open. If you're not able to receive messages and downloads and insight and guidance from higher dimensional forces, whether angelic or demonic, this is going to go nowhere quick. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, do you want to help? Okay. We've been blessed with another guest appearance by Autumn. Hello, baby. We're going to tell people common mistakes they can avoid when connecting to Lilith. So, my goodness, so much fur. So, if you can't receive messages from beings on the other side, the best case scenario, it's going to go nowhere. Worst case scenario, you're going to pull Lilith and her qualities in. They're going to start affecting you and your reality, and you're not going to be picking up on it. Or other beings are going to be able to slip through that are not as kind as Lilith, and they're going to start screwing with you, and you won't be able to pick up on it. So you want to be in a place where you are able to receive messages and have synchronicities and have discernment on what is your projected minds and thoughts and what is actual wisdom and knowledge being brought to you to be integrated into your system. So I am someone that ripped his third eye wide open. I don't recommend doing the method that I did, but years ago, when I learned about all this stuff and the pineal gland, how that's our spiritual antenna, I started decalcifying my pineal gland. You can do that with iodine. I went with the route of, instead of taking iodine droppers, I ended up getting organic powdered kelp, sourced from Canada. It's this way it's not radioactive. And the reason why I went with that route, one, it's more affordable. But two, powdered kelp has a lot of minerals and other great things in it besides iodine. It just tastes terrible. It tastes kind of disgusting. So I would just add a tablespoon of that to protein shakes that I would have every day. And then I would filter out fluoride from my water, and I started using fluoride-free toothpaste. And I would also avoid other things that calcify the pineal gland, like calcium carbonate, which is in like every type of pickle, which is unfortunate because pickles are great. But I decalcified my pineal gland, and then I started doing third eye meditations, and I had an amethyst crystal that was pretty big. It was a really good amethyst crystal. And I would lay in bed with it on my forehead and listen to third eye frequencies. And it I would just feel like this just pool of I guess energy. I don't know what else to call it, but it was like a very nice, it was almost like a ball was on my forehead, it felt like, and it was just getting, it was moving, and it was just getting larger and larger and larger. And this is what caused me to start seeing shadow people and things like that. And luckily for me, I'm really chill about it, so I was just yeah, whatever. Other people might do something like that and start freaking out. So that's why I caution, you can decalcify your pineal gland and all that, but there's no need to rip your third eye wide open like I did. And then this goes into the next part of point number 1. Not only should you be able to perceive the other side of the veil and know when higher dimensional beings are communicating with you, you should be familiar with how to ground yourself. That is absolutely important, because if you're not able to ground yourself, you're not going to be able to integrate into your body the messages that you're getting, because a lot of this stuff is confusing. A lot of messages that I get, whether it's from a demon or an archangel, it's very cryptic in nature a lot of the times. It's like I'm being given some symbolic waking dream imagery that will make more sense as time goes by, and different elements of the download and different parts of the imagery just start to show up one by one throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, whatever. and then I'm able to unpack it more and more as time goes by. If you're not grounded, you're going to get lost in the sauce of that. You're going to be so much on the other side of the veil that you're going to get very lost, what some people would say lost in the astral. You can get very lost in stories. You can be projecting your beliefs into things and like amplifying the intensity. And you could give yourself spiritual psychosis, basically. So grounding in general is important. Like even if you're not working with any demonic forces, everyone should be learning how to ground into their body and ground to the earth. So the way to do that is you can work with your root chakra. Anytime you're working with your third eye, I believe you should also be working with your root chakra to help balance those two out. On top of that, you can connect to the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance is the Earth's heartbeat. A lot of people like to say it's the Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz, especially when you're connecting to a force like Lilith, which is very chaotic, very primordial. She is older than the physical universe that we currently exist in. So this is big level stuff. I can't emphasize that enough. And if you feel pulled to her, you don't want to suppress that pull, but you just want to work with her in a way that's healthy for you. And this is something Lilith would want for you anyways. Common mistake number 2 is not treating this work with the seriousness that it really does require. Lilith is a negatively polarized being. People, they hear negative, they think bad. Negative is just a charge. She is taking energy in. Again, Lilith is primordial chaos. She is older, not only older than Earth, she is older than this entire physical universe, which means she has a lot of wisdom. She has a lot that she can teach people that feel pulled to her. But at the same time, she's very powerful and smart. But integrating Lilith, doing invocations, which is a form of possession, letting this stream of consciousness, because that's how I see these beings, whether it's an archangel or an archdemon, these are streams of consciousness that are flowing all around and through us. So when you do an invocation, like I did a Lilith invocation before I started this video, and when you're doing that, basically what you're choosing is you're letting that stream of consciousness flow through into you and out of you more. So right now as I'm speaking, there's more Lilith flowing into me and out of me than on a usual basis. By doing that, her presence being more in your body is going to bubble up things, very specific things. Again, some of it's going to be fun and awesome and cool and like, whoa, I'm waking up to like deep things. Some of it's going to be uncomfortable. If you're going to work with her, you have to be prepared to accept that some of the stuff that you're going to have bubble up to the surface is going to be uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you work with all of it in one day. It doesn't mean you have to eat the entire meal in front of you in one sitting. It's just you have to accept that this is not just all fun and games. This is not all just for a power trip. This is not to escape or be edgy and cool. This is a lot of very serious work, and if you take it seriously, you're going to go through an alchemical mutation that is very beautiful. But if you don't take it serious, again, you could hurt yourself. And that goes into my next common mistake, which is pigeonholing Lilith, seeing her very one-dimensionally. Lilith has a lot of different aspects. She is the dark mother archetype. She is the mother of demons. She is the queen of hell, empress of the underworld, queen succubus. There's a lot of different aspects to her. Obviously, men tend to focus and fixate on the queen succubus part of her. She is a bit sexy. This is not anything new. I'm not letting any cat out of the bag. There's one on my lap, but other than that, people often feel pulled to a certain aspect of Lilith and then fixate on that as if there aren't multiple aspects of her. What you want to do is pay attention to what aspect of her that you're pulled to, and then see what types of traumas and narratives and things are related to that. At the same time, there's the femme fatale, the rebellious woman, the dark feminine that doesn't want to be tamed. You can connect to this aspect of Lilith, and she can help you wake up to how you suppress different parts of yourself so that people can accept you and you can learn to be your own sovereign being and be a badass embodied in the truth of you, whether you're a man or you're a woman. You know, we all have an inner feminine. We all have an inner dark feminine. And then, yeah, she has the queen succubus aspect of her. And I've definitely connected to that part of Lilith. Lilith helped me wake up to how much of a suppressed sex drive that I have. I have an incredibly high libido. I'd say even for a guy, higher than most. And Lilith helped me wake up to that. And she helped me learn how to take that high sex drives. This way I'm not just like a porn addict, right? Because there's just a lot of that. And I do believe porn is the physical or like digital embodiment of Gamaliel. Gamaliel is known as the obscene ones. It's where all the repressed sexual desires are. Any black magician that connects to Gamaliel will agree it's like one big orgy happening in the astral realm. When you connect to Gamaliel, it's going to naturally pull out your suppressed sexual desires, you know, things that are a bit taboo or things that you just don't like to have. So connecting to Lilith can help bring those desires to the surface. And then you can either learn to love and own them and find healthy outlets for them, or alchemize them and use them for something else. Lilith helped me take those sexual desires and then practice semen retention and then pull them up into my heart chakra. So now instead of being like addicted to sexual release, I'm able to let my sexual energy flow through my body and then create things with my heart and my sexual energy. Because any artist that's making anything, that's all sacral chakra energy. That's all the second chakra, which is sexual energy. Whenever any artist is making anything, they're making it with sexual energy. So by holding on to my sexual energy and letting that flow up into my heart, now my sexual energy and my heart are included in my creative process. And I believe the work that I make with Starfall, my digital comic, and the anime series that I'm working on, I think it shows because of that. Lilith helped me with that. If you don't wake up to things like this, any type of subconscious thing, but just keeping it focused to this, if you don't wake up to stuff like this that's suppressed within you, you're either going to keep it suppressed, it's going to stay in your subconscious, which means it's not actually going anywhere. It's just going to keep like weighing on you and you're going to be using energy to like keep it away. Or it's going to eventually bubble to the surface and you're going to be a slave to it. People that do not integrate any deep repressed sexual urges they have in Gamaliel, if it ever does bubble to the surface, they'll just be a slave to it. They won't be able to handle it. Lilith is a being that can pull that stuff to the surface and then teach you how to own it and then live it in a healthy way. So you can see why this is a being that you don't want to like pigeonhole into like one aspect, because so many different aspects of her can help you in so many different ways. That being said, again, caution. There is also the vampire aspect of Lilith. Lilith can be very vampiric. You can absolutely give in too much to her queen succubus aspect, wake up her vampiric aspect, and now you have to learn boundaries at that point. This usually happens if you're addicted to porn, which I believe not only is it an embodiment of Gamaliel, it's an inverted aspect of Lilith's qualities. Since we're on the topic, before I move on to the next common mistake, sex magic is also something that you can utilize your libido and sexual energy for. Again, if you feel called to that, that's something that I feel called to. I've done sex magic a variety of times, and I'm going to do it, I don't know how many more times, but it's definitely a way to have a controlled sexual release in a way that's actually going to be useful for me instead of just mindlessly being addicted to sexual release just to numb myself and flood my mind with dopamine is my point. The next common mistake that I see so many people practicing the left-hand path, black magic, chaos magic, what have you, is only working on the darkness. And I mean, this is not even just Lilith stuff. Again, we have both streams of consciousness flowing through us, demonic stream of consciousness and angelic stream of consciousness. If you focus on just the angelic, I believe you're very likely to suppress your darkness and the things that you don't like about you into your subconscious, and that's not helping anybody. But if you're only focusing on the demonic streams of consciousness, you will eventually become a slave to these different realms of hell and these dark desires of yours, and you're going to exist more and more in a narcissistic bubble and eventually lose your minds. And that's obviously not good. So if you're working with Lilith, only you will know best on how to balance this out. But if you're working with her, that means you're going to be connecting more to also her realm, Gamaliel. You should familiarize yourself with the Tree of Life equivalent, Yesod. It's known as the foundation, and it's known for connection. It's the astral plane, the mind. It's the moon. Yesod is the moon, and then Gamaliel is the dark moon. You should familiarize yourself with both for balance. And then the archangel that rules Yesod is Archangel Gabriel. Very beautiful archangel. Speaking of archangels, you should also learn the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, or, really whatever banishing ritual feels best for you. That is the one that's always had the best result for me. That was made by the Golden Dawn. The lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram is a banishing ritual where you vibrate the 4 names of God and vibrate the 4 names of different archangels: Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel. You draw a pentagram in 4 different locations and make a circle, and then you surround yourself with you charge them with the 4 names of God, and then surround yourself with the 4 archangels, and it banishes and cleanses your body and your field of any dark or chaotic forces. So me, typically, I don't do that when I'm working with Lilith so much. Like right now, I'm working with Lilith a lot because we have a lot of lost time to catch up on. So it's like, you ever see those like soap commercials? I don't know why this is coming to mind. Those like Dawn soap commercials when there was an oil spill years ago, and it was showing like a duck covered in oil, and then they were like putting Dawn dish soap on the duck, and all the oil came off cleanly, and the duck looked all nice and cute and clean. That's what archangels do to any type of demonic energy. So if I were to do the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram right now, all of Lilith's energy that's around me and in me, it would just come right off, like grease coming off from soap. And that's not something that I want right now. But I know how to do it. I could do it right now if I wanted to. I don't even need to watch a step-by-step tutorial at this point because I've done it so many times. I used to do the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, every day, and I felt great while doing it. So if you're working with demonic forces, you should know how to flip the switch because, again, you have both flowing through you. And unfortunately, like with most things, people get very tribalistic. They say, well, I'm working with the Qliphoth. I don't want to work with archangels because of this, that, and the third. I get that. But again, it's good to have both because you just have both in you. I'm not here to tell people what they should be doing. I just, from my own personal experience and practitioners that I've observed, the black magicians that, just put it bluntly, the black magicians that are not losing their minds are the ones that are doing this. You have a left brain and a right brain. You have a left hand and a right hand. You have angelic consciousness flowing through you and demonic. It's good to accept both. And this goes to the third eye root chakra thing, right? You open your third eye, you want to also work on your root chakra, again, for balance. It's all about balance. That being said, archangels, demons don't get along. Again, in my experience, do not get along. Lilith especially does not like Archangel Michael. So I wouldn't recommend ever doing a banishing ritual to spite Lilith or anything like that. It should be done from a very loving place of, self-loving place of, this is what I need right now. This is the best thing that I need for myself to be the best version of myself. Definitely don't like call Lilith in and then do a banishing ritual like shortly after. You're just gonna piss her off and like kind of confuse yourself and your system. I would advise against doing the banishing rituals to suppress the parts of you that are pulled to Lilith to feel pure. Again, that's just suppressing parts of yourself for whatever reason. If you need to do it for balance reasons, makes total sense. If you're doing it to suppress aspects of yourself, that's not long term, that's just not going to work. That stuff has to be looked at some point. But knowing how to do a banishing ritual in the first place is something every black magician should have in their toolkit. Not even just for connecting to Lilith. Again, some other beings might start getting involved that you don't want getting involved. And doing a banishing ritual is a great, like an Etch-a-Sketch. Just shake that bitch up. Just do a banishing ritual. Clean slate, you're good to go. And the last common mistake that I see people make working with Lilith is blaming her. I watch people that work with her, even people that don't work with her, blame her for the things happening in their life shortly after working with her, or blame her for things that are being like, oh, Lilith is making me more lustful. Lilith is doing this to me. Lilith is changing this about me. Lilith is bringing to surface what is already there. Playing the blame game never works for anybody. Lilith and archdemons and demons like her are very paradoxical teachers. They bubble up to the surface the things that are suppressed. And if you take inventory of that, it's only for your benefit. So she's not tricking you or anything like that. Demons are very narcissistic in nature, don't get me wrong. It's not all, as Lilith would like to say, it's not all blowjobs and lollipops. There are some, terrifying things about these beings. But you're only going to stagnate your growth and piss these beings off if you start making them the scapegoat for the stuff inside of you that's being pulled to the surface. So responsibility is the name of the game. So me, I like to connect to Lilith every single day. Again, I have different soundscapes that I listen to connect with her. On the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, I do a way more intense invocation ritual at my Lilith altar. I do a lot of research on Lilith, whether it's from V.K. Jehanum, Sephiroth Shamanism, Kenneth Grant, some of Aleister Crowley's work, though, Aleister Crowley's a little bit of a loaded bag. But I've gone to let myself be more familiarized with Lilith, and I allow that stream of consciousness that we've named Lilith to flow more through me and to teach me more. And I make sure to interact, like Sephiroth Shamanism would say. I interact with the physical world around me, because the more I'm letting the stream of consciousness flow through me and out of me, the more Lilith is able to manifest not just synchronicities of her around me, but different things in my life that I'm meant to interact with, because that's how I'm going to change internally. We're in a physical realm. So the more things you do physically, the more you're going to be able to integrate and alchemize. So Lilith doesn't just want you to connect with her and give her your energy or worship her or do sex magic. She also wants you to interact with things that are popping up in your life while being more an embodiment of her energy. So I might have people not even like shaming me sexually, just trying to suppress me in general. And the more that I'm an embodiment of Lilith, the more I'm going to feel rebellious, right? And the more I'm going to want to be me. So the more you're connecting with this force, and the more you're letting Lilith guide you and teach you, and the more you're going out and living your life, and the more you're grounding yourself and having a healthy balance of all these things, the more you're going to get the most out of this experience with her. So in short, make sure you're able to perceive beings in the first place before you start working with her. Make sure that you know how to ground yourself. Make sure you understand the seriousness of this work and you familiarize yourself with Lilith and her different aspects. Know that this is hard work. This is very serious work. This is not la 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 fun stuff. all the time. This is very serious, and you can hurt yourself if you don't take it seriously. But also know that if you do take this seriously, you are going to go through a very powerful alchemical mutation that is, in my opinion, for your highest good if you feel called to this. And if you feel called to this, it's not going to be like a guessing game. You'll just know. You'll feel it internally, and the aspects of Lilith will be manifesting around you. That is her calling to you. They say you don't choose Lilith. Lilith chooses you to work with, and I'm a big believer in that. I can speak from firsthand experience. So I hope that was informative. If there's anything else about Lilith you'd like for me to cover, let me know. I know there's like all these different things like, how to do an invocation and different things you can give Lilith as offerings and things like that. I didn't get into that stuff because there's just so many videos about that, and I don't want to just keep repeating stuff that other people would say. This is a type of video that I don't see too many people make. I know Legion of Lilith has made similar videos, and I just feel like more of these types of videos are appropriate. But if there's anything else about Lilith, the occult, left-hand path, right-hand path, archangels, simulation theory, tree of life, trauma healing, non-duality, Kabbalah, a whole list of esoteric topics you'd like for me to discuss, please let me know in the comments section down below. Again, if you would like to have a session with me, go to seekthecode.net. You can also check out my music on Spotify. Look up Silent Architect. That is my username in most things. You can look forward to more occult videos on this channel and also episodes of my Starfall anime that I'm currently working on that's going to be really cool. So thank you for being here. Remember to be kind to yourself. Give a thank you to Lilith if you're working with her. And I'll see you in the next one. Autumn, baby, is there anything else you'd like to share before we go? All right, goodbye.